Muted. All right. All right, so today's the day I kind of give you like a little mini lesson on this, and then tomorrow we will practice and practice and practice in Pear Deck. We're starting with just the numbers to make sure we can get the number part down, and then we're going to move on to using variables with this. This is almost identical to what we did last week. The difference is it's going to be a cube number and a non-cube number. Okay, so use the same boxes. Our index is going to change a little bit. So we're going to have an index of 3 out there, and you have to have it. Make sure it goes in the V. We talked about this last week, and we'll see it when we get to the letters. If you kind of stick it out here, we don't know if it means cube root or if it means the exponent of maybe a variable out here. Okay, so really make sure it's in the V part of the root. Okay, so we've got the biggest cube number, okay, which you can take the cubed root of, okay, and then this is the leftovers basically, right? We put our leftovers over there, which you can't take the cubed root of, okay. All right, so let's just talk numbers. Okay, so I'm going to do my can and my can't do cube root. Make sure you get the little cubed root in there on the index, okay? Okay. I'm going to go down my list. So my cube numbers are over here on either side. Okay, so I'm not using 1 again. I don't have it X'd out because 1 divides everything, right? So it doesn't really do us any good. So I'm going to divide by 8, then 27, then 64, then 125. So let's try that in Desmos, okay? You will have little calculator access, at least a little 4-function one. All right, so it was 54, right? I'm dividing by 8. Did it work? No. Okay, so now I'm going to take that. I'm going to divide it by the next cube number, 27. Did it work? How many times? 2. See, it's identical to last week, right? We just changed what number gets divided in. Okay. All right, so we got 20. So, oh boy, it's been doing that all day to me. 27 2 times. Now, I would probably be using my sign over there. Do you see how it says 27 and you go to the left on the sign and it says number? So what's the cubed root of 27? 3. That's how you use the sign to your advantage there. Cubed root of 3, or 27 is 3. And just like with the square root, once you've taken the cube root, notice there's no symbol over the top. We did a pretty good job of that. I didn't see a whole lot of that. I still haven't graded the quiz, but as we were looking through Pear Deck last week, I didn't see a whole lot of us leaving a symbol over the top. Okay? This back piece, just leave it alone. Okay? All right, let's try 375. Okay, cubed root. And it's hard to not make the numbers big on this, you guys. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with just big numbers sometimes. Okay? All right, I'm going back to Desmos, right? Okay. Oop, not that one. I hit the wrong button. There we go. All right, I totally forgot the number. 375. So 375 divided by, what's my first cube number on the list? 8. Does it work? Okay, what's my next cube number? Did it work? What's my next cube number? 64. Did it work? What's my next one? Did it work? Yes. So I got 125 3 times. Okay. Woo. It's going to be one of those days. 125 3 times. All right. What is the cubed root of 125? 5. So I'm going to go 5 cubed root of 3. All right. Before I put letters in there, variables in there, I want you to try cubed root of 40. So everybody do the cubed root of 40 right now on your paper. Okay. Check it with somebody at your table real quick. Have a quick conversation. All right, cubed root of 40. So I went down the list, right? What's my first cube number? 8. Does 8 divide 40? How many times? Was that it? Oh, did we get really lucky? All right, what's the cubed root of 8? 2 cubed root of 5. Okay. All right, let's look at this now with the numbers, or with the variables in there, okay? We're going to start with the numbers. So let's deal with the number piece first, just like we did with our square roots, okay? And then we will deal with the variables. All right, we're going to go 128. I'm going to try to divide that by 8 first, right? So let's see, 128 divided by 8. It worked, but do you think that's the biggest? I could probably do better than that, right? Okay, so my next one's 27. Does 27 work? Okay, what's next? Does 64 work? Is that the biggest? Yeah. When you have 8, you have to try to check 64, right? It's just like with the squares. If you have 4, you want to check 16, and you want to check 64, okay? Just to make sure. All right, so we've got 64 2 times. Okay. Now, last week we pulled out multiples of 2, right? It was all even exponents, right? We could get away with evens, but what we were really doing was pulling out multiples of 2. This week we want to pull out multiples of 3 because this index is a 3. So the biggest x I could pull out would be x cubed. What would that make my leftovers? X, good. Y to the 6, is that a multiple of 3? Yes, so I get all of y to the 6th and nothing in the leftover box. Okay. All right, what's the biggest z I could pull out that's a multiple of 3? 3, right? What's left over? Z squared. Last week, the only thing in our leftovers would have just been an exponent of 1, right? This week, it's going to be an exponent of 1 or an exponent of 2. Because I have to get it to add up to 3, right? Or add up to, so it's going to be a 1 or a 2. All right, we're only cube rooting that first box. Sorry, I wrote it so squished. All right, what is the cubed root of 64? 4, good. What's the cubed root? So this time, instead of dividing by 2, what do you think I'm going to divide by? 3. If I had a 4 out there, what would I be dividing by? 4. Doesn't matter. Whatever this index is that's out there, that's what I would be dividing by. Okay. So x to the, when I divide by 3, what do I get? 1, so just x. Y to the 2, good. And z to the 1. And again, it doesn't hurt to leave a little bit of space. Make sure that index is inside the root, 2xz squared. It looked totally ugly and crazy, right? But it is what it is. Okay. We're going to try another one together. Okay. I know I'm going to need the can and the can't do box. So can take the cubed root. I can't take the cubed root. All right. 686. Let's get out Desmos. All right. So I need 686. I'm going down the list. All right. I'm starting with 8. Does 8 work? Now what's next? Does 27 work? What's next? 64 work? What's next? 125 work? All right, what's next? Did that work? What's next? That work? Yay! We got one to work. I'd rather do the big numbers now and then leave you the little numbers for the quiz, right? So, 343 2 times. Let me get back to this. Okay, so 343 twice. All right, I am pulling out multiples of 3 again. Okay, so what's going to come in here for the x's in the can-do box? All of 9, so there's no leftovers because 9 is divisible by 3, right? All right, what about for the y's? What am I pulling out? 6, what's going in the leftovers? Just a y, good. What about the z's? I can't because it's not even 3 yet, right? So the entire z goes in the leftover box. Okay, good job. That's good eyes. All right, the cubed root of 343 according to the sign is 7. All right, we're dividing these exponents by what? 3. So x to the third, y to the second, cubed root of 2yz squared. Just leave that back piece alone because we've tried really hard to make sure nothing can cube root that. Okay, there's one more there. I want you to give it a shot. I tried to be really nice on the number, even though it's a giant number. Okay, so everybody try that one. Should be obvious. Okay, let's check it. So, what was the biggest cube number you got that went in there? 1,000. How many times? Twice. Okay. That one wouldn't be horrible for a quiz, right? 343 is not so nice, but 1,000 is not too bad. All right. X to the what goes in the can-do box? 12. Nothing left over. Y to the what? 6. What's left over? Y to the second. Good. What about the Z? Can't do box, right? It's all leftovers. Okay. All right. Cubed root of 1,000 was what? 10. Dividing these exponents by 3. What's 12 divided by 3? And what's 6 divided by 3? 2. And then cubed root of 2y squared z. Okay. All right. That's it for that piece. We'll keep working on that 5 minutes a day. We will take our little skills check quiz on Friday. Okay. This week is going to be a lot about quizzing and requizzing. We're done with this little section of Unit 5. We still have one more thing we got to do in Unit 5.